Who else could it be but your man Lou? Yeah.
And overtime.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to Monday Night Football Overtime. Texans, Saints. Goddamn, what a football game. Just when you think the NFL has let you down. And we talked about this last night, and I told you, I wasn't that ashamed of week one's action. Now, Thursday night was pretty damn bad. Sunday night was pretty damn bad. And a lot of you were complaining. Week one slate, not all that impressive. And I said, hey, not that bad. And I reeled off about 3 or 4 games that I thought were really competitive football games. But we hadn't had a primetime game remind us of why we love this game until tonight. Texans at Saints. Man, was that a good finish. That was a really good football game, period. But the finish was ridiculous. And it reminds us all of just how good these two quarterbacks just are, right? Deshaun Watson, I don't think gets enough credit. And I'm somewhat guilty of that sometimes because I'm not the biggest fan of Bill O'Brien. They play in a division that is probably one of the worst in all of football. You know, no one really gives the AFC South that much love, and rightfully so. I mean, generally speaking, you don't expect much out of the team that comes out of that division. And so, as a matter of fact, the Texans won the division and got smoked at home last year in the playoffs. But that's nor here nor there. Deshaun Watson, we all remember what he did when he first came into this league, taking it by storm, throwing a bunch of touchdown passes, threw a lot of interceptions too. But he got injured, but he was putting on a hell of a show, letting everyone know that he was here and he was here to stay, and he was going to be a really good quarterback for a very long time. The offensive line was a problem last year, but he still put up points and wins for this Texans football team. They went out, they got Laramie Tunsil, they went out, they got Kenny Stills, among other players, and they tried to repair what was a broken offense. Obviously, the loss of Lamar Miller didn't help either. They went out, they got Carlos Hyde, who I've always liked and thought was underappreciated in this league. When healthy, think Carlos Hyde is a really quality NFL running back. And so we mock the Texans for all of the moves made, and we think that they have mortgaged the future, so they need to win now. If that game is any indication of what they're going to do this season, sign me up for what they've done this offseason with some of the moves made. Now, again, you're still going to have to solidify that by winning. You're going to have to give those moves validity by winning. But going into New Orleans, I thought that was a death trap tonight. Okay, the fans are going to be raucous. The officials were coming back after the last time they were there. It's a primetime game. It's already tough to win in the Dome, period. You throw in what the last time these fans were in that stadium for this team, you throw in what happened at that moment, you bring all of that to the forefront. I just thought it was going to be a no-win situation for whomever showed up in the Dome on Monday night. That team happened to be the Texans. I was wrong. They literally took it to the New Orleans Saints the first half and arguably the first half of the third quarter when they took it down the field and scored another touchdown and had these boys on the ropes at 21-10. But in typical Saints fashion, they chipped away. Despite some mistakes, a missed field goal, a Drew Brees interception in the red zone, they battled back, took the lead, looked like they were going to win this thing 27-21, and Deshaun Watson put on his Superman cape, made 2 beautiful throws, the second of which, God damn, that was a beautiful throw under duress. Did you see the hit he took on that play? I think it was Raphael Bush blitzing off the edge, untouched. Did you see him stare down the gun barrel? Did you see him roll out, reshuffle and reset, knowing that the pressure was coming off of his left side and they couldn't pick it up? Watch him roll out, stop, replant, and then throw the dart of all darts, ladies and gentlemen, to Kenny Stills, the guy that just got there, no less. On the money as he gets waxed. That is big time, big boy NFL quarterbacking at its highest. Damn. That was some good stuff, man. And you know what's the sad part? Is as that completion was made, I quickly looked down to see how much time was left. And I said, you done effed up. Because they still got a timeout left. And they still got Drew Brees over there. And you know, it doesn't take long for that cool breeze to start blowing in, man. And it's just a slight breeze. That's it. It's not a big wind. It's just a slight breeze. It's cool, too. Just enough to stand the hairs up on the back of your neck. And I knew at that moment, you about to feel this cool breeze, man. You better listen to your corner and watch for the hook. And so, I said, hey, Fairbairn, go ahead and make this extra point. He missed. Luckily enough for them, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson comes flying off the damn edge and roughs the kicker. I thought it was actually running into the kicker, but fine. It doesn't matter. He's getting another shot at it. He's going to make it now. And he did. 28-27. I said, it doesn't matter. 27-27, 28-27, doesn't matter. Cool breeze time, man. Whew. Cool breeze time. It's over. And sure enough, comes in the game, goes right down the field. Boom, Michael Thomas. Boom, Ted Ginn Jr. Field goal. All right? Just like that. They're in field goal range. All right? And it was one more completion in there. It was three completions, the last of which the Ted Ginn Jr. Teddy Ball game. And I said, you know, Will is going to bang this home. Whether it's 60, 58, 56, Will's going to bang this thing home because he missed right before halftime. So Will's going to bang this one home. And sure enough, Will Lutz right down the pipe. 30-28. Everybody drive home safely. God bless and good night. Man, that's a tough one to stomach if you're Deshaun Watson because he's going to wake up sore tomorrow. Fell on his tailbone on the touchdown in the first half. Took some hellacious shots. That's why I always worry about Deshaun, man. It's never about the talent with him. Never about his ability to get it done. It's always about, can this man last for 16 weeks? Because he takes a beating, an absolute beating. Laramie Tunsil was brought in to protect his blind side. One of the biggest snaps of the night. What happened? Got his ass whooped by Trey Hendrickson. Right around the corner, sack. I never worry about Deshaun Watson's ability to get it done. I only worry about the man's health. That's all I worry about with him. And he's going to be sore tomorrow. And it's unfortunate that he's going to be sore with a loss. You much rather be sore with a dub. And you say, you know what? I'm going to be a little bit sore tomorrow, but boy, does this victory taste sweet. Man, he's about to wake up with a nasty taste of defeat in his mouth and a sore back. Yeah, that sucks, man. But that's what happens when a potential future Hall of Fame quarterback in Watson meets Hall of Fame quarterback Drew Brees. First ballot Hall of Fame quarterback Drew Brees. That's what happens when two big-time quarterbacks meet in one football game. You get fireworks like this, man. And just in case you're out there, a fan of a team that doesn't have one of those, that's what that looks like. I'm one of those guys, a fan of a team that doesn't have one of those and wishes so desperately that I did. Because that right there, that's elite stuff on both sides. Man, was that fun to watch. That was elite. Just think about it, though. That was elite stuff all over the field. I sent out a tweet about Marshawn Lattimore, and he got toasted late in the ball game. But who did he get toasted by? One of the best receivers in the league. That's all. That's it. Just Nuke. That's it. It ain't nothing but Nuke going off for a bucket, some change, and 2 touchdowns. Not 1, 2. Put 2 of them things down. Write me down for 2. Michael Thomas on the other side, newly paid Michael Thomas, can't guard Mike. You're damn right you can't guard Mike. He had a catch on that final drive that put him in the field goal range. He had 10 catches for a buck and some change. That's some elite stuff out there, man. Not to mention Alvin Kamara, my guy. Alvin Kamara, all right? Man, it was some elite stuff on Showcase tonight, man. A lot of good football players on the field tonight. Marshawn Lattimore is a hell of a corner. Don't confuse yourself otherwise. When he's right, when he's healthy, there aren't many better in the game than Marshawn Lattimore, man. It was fun watching that matchup tonight. You know, Nuke would catch something underneath and he would come clean his ass up with the quickness. It was fun. And a lot of those catches contested. There was a third down catch that it resulted in like 4th and inches where he caught a slant right in front of Lattimore and he mopped him right as he caught it. Like, there was a lot of that going on today, man. But they both won their fair share of battles. That was fun to watch, man. A lot of fun to watch. I actually was really impressed with the way the Texans ran the football in this game. I thought they got a lot out of Carlos Hyde. And if he can stay healthy, he's going to help that offense a lot. I mean, if they would have given it to him more, he would have went over 100 yards tonight. He just didn't get enough touches, but they had a really good rhythm going with him and Duke Johnson. That's going to be a nice little 1-2 punch right there in that Texans backfield. I thought both of them ran the football very effectively. I wouldn't be shocked if I looked up at the stats and the Texans ran for over 160 yards in this game, because I know Hyde had 80-something yards rushing, and I'd like to think that Duke couldn't be too far behind, probably in the 60 to 70 range rushing. So, and then you add in Watson's scrambles, and you're probably going to end up somewhere in that 170, 180 range on the ground. I just thought they had a really good night running against a stingy Saints defense that usually doesn't allow you to run the way that the Texans ran the football tonight. So that was actually really surprising and impressive. And I was all around impressed by the Texans tonight. And remember, I'm the one that said that they're going to be a 6-10 team this year and not very good. And I told you either them or the Titans are going to be the team that proves me wrong, because I said I'm wrong about one of those teams. Both of those teams were 6-10 teams in my estimation this year. And I said I'm wrong about one of those teams, not both. Both of them aren't going to be good this year. Just one of them. I still don't know which is which, but we're going to find out soon enough. Don't allow what the Titans did on Sunday to fool you and cloud your judgment. They do that quite often, where they rise to the level of competition. I've talked about that before. And then they'll go on the road to the Jets or even home to the Jets and lose, 15-10. Okay, we've seen the Titans do that. So don't allow what you saw from the Titans to cloud your judgment. But this was impressive on the road, despite it being a loss. It was very impressive by the Texans on the road against the Saints. Didn't expect them to be this competitive in this football game in that environment. I think that was the thing that really swayed me to believe that this was going to be not necessarily a non-competitive game as much as the Saints winning going away. I thought the Saints would win this game. My exact score in my head when I did my football pool sheet was 30-20. Saints win this game. All right. I didn't think this would be a one score, one possession, literally come down to the last second field goal type of game. I thought it would be, Saints win this game by 2 scores, 30-20, and we keep it moving. So really impressed with the Texans on the night. But the Saints, I was impressed with their grit and toughness, because the game didn't go the way that they envisioned early. You had the turnover by Breeze. First of all, before even that turnover, they got off to a slow start. The Saints predicate themselves on getting off to a fast start. That first possession of the game, they get the football and they move it right down the field and they score. And they take your heart early in the game by jumping out to a lead and looking like a team that you can't stop offensively. Well, that didn't happen in this game. They came out a little slow and sluggish. Credit the Texans defense for that. But then they finally got into a little bit of a rhythm, moved it down the field, and then Whitney Merciless with a big pick to turn them away from points at that moment. And then they got down there again, couldn't punch it in, had to settle for a field goal. And then they get down in the field goal range right before the half. Will Lutz misses. And there was just a comedy of errors for the Saints, not to mention the defense giving up the touchdown to Deshaun Watson right before the half to increase the lead from 7-3 to 14-3. And so you thought they needed that field goal going into half at 14-6, and then they missed. So it's just like, man, things not going their way. But they came back out in the second half, and they slowly chipped away with the touchdown to cut it to 14-10. Then the Texans respond right away with the touchdown of their own to make it 21-10. But the Saints continued to battle, continued to chip away, and they got the touchdown to get it to 21-17. And I thought the key in the second half was just getting Alvin Kamara going. I think that they realized that they had a mismatch with him, which anytime a team decides it's okay, which it's never okay to single up a backer on Alvin Kamara, but anytime a team decides that it's okay to single up a backer on 41, you got to take full advantage of that mismatch. And they did that in the second half. They got him the football out in space, whether it be an option route, that Texas route over the middle of the football field where he just breaks Cunningham off and then races for 41, or just getting him the football in the backfield. And before you know it, you start seeing other guys get involved. Taysom Hill with a touchdown grab, and you start spreading the love around. And this was a total team effort on the part of the Saints. I thought they did some really good things. Big interception by Marcus Williams down the field. Boy, did he get a yee! He got suplexed by Nuke, but that was a big play because, again, at that moment, you were looking for the Saints to take the lead and take that step forward and assume control of this game. And that interception allowed them to do that by allowing them to take the lead in the football game, and a lead that I thought they weren't going to relinquish at 24-21, but instead you see the moxie and the poise of the Texans on the opposite sidelines, down 27-21. They scored in a blink of an eye, literally 2 plays. Watson, and my thing is, and I love Lattimore, but this is not the time for you to show bravado and start trying to grab your nuts like, all right, man, I'm about to man up and get in your face. This is not the time to get in the face and delete the airspace with Nuke. All right? This is the time you give him 7 yards and you keep everything in front of you, not try to get in his face and like, all right, big boy, I'm coming for you. Because he ran right by his ass and then caught it, and then in typical Nuke fashion, gripped that bitch with one hand like it was a damn piece of paper. Like he had a goddamn mango in his hand or some shit. Just holding it out of bounds. I'm like, bro, cover that up. He's like, man, I got this shit, man. Get out of here. So, just like that was like a 40-yard gain down the sideline, and boom, they in business. And then Kenny Stills, the newest addition, bam, right on P.J. Williams' ass. And just like that, we got a brand new ball game, folks. Wow, was that exhilarating. But nonetheless, the Saints come out victorious, 30-28. Big win for them, because if not for the win by the Saints, the entire NFC South, what we proclaim to be one of the best divisions in football, they go over on week 1. All right? Bucks lost to the 49ers at home. Panthers lost to the Rams at home. And the Falcons got beat down by the Vikings on the road. So the whole entire division would have been 0-1 if not for the Saints salvaging the win here and getting to 1-0 on the season. Meanwhile, for the Texans, that's a tough, bitter pill to swallow. You played about as good a game as you could have played in that environment against that team, and still were unable to come away with a victory. But you got to feel good about what you were able to accomplish. No moral victories in the NFL, as I always say. Either you win or you lose. You didn't get it done. But you got to feel good about this team and what you have built here with the additions of Tunzel and Stills and the running back that you traded for. And Duke Johnson as well. This was his first game as a Texan. A lot of good things done here with this football team, and I think they can be a really good team, potentially better than I gave them credit for. I'm not moving off of 6-10 quite yet, but I can tell you what, they look good in their first representation of 2019. So let's get to some comments, man. Don't want to waste too much time here, as obviously we've got another Monday night game to get to, so I will try to make this as quick and painless as possible. Just get to a few comments and then we'll get out of here. Reese says, I hate the Saints. I know you do. You always tell me that every time the Saints are on prime time. You always make sure you drop that in there. JP says, wow, great game. Even though the team lost, Watson is, in the words of the great Dave Chappelle, cold-blooded. Yes, he is. Ed says, this game was good. John Perez also says, might be time for Bill O'Brien to go. If Bill hasn't already been run out of town, unless they go 6-10 like I predicted and things fall apart and the team has a mutiny, I don't see Bill O'Brien going anywhere. Gregory Lightbody says, Texans trade for Trent Williams. That sack that from Tunzel doesn't happen. maybe not. But they did. We wouldn't give him up. So there's that. Reese says, have you ever seen a crazier last 50 seconds of a game? Sure we have. You know, we live in this time where the latest is the greatest and it's the best thing we've ever seen and we've never seen anything like it. Of course we have. Remember the Minnesota game against the Ravens in Baltimore in the snow? That last minute of that game was insane. I think it was like 3 touchdowns in the last 50 seconds of that game. It was crazy. Of course we've seen crazier things in the last 50 seconds of a game. Let's see. Cloud says, Texans better be ready to penny up some more picks because that line is still shaky. I agree. It was not the cleanest tonight. And they were getting beat from all angles. It wasn't just Laramie Tunzel. A lot of guys were getting their asses handed to them tonight by that Saints front. Cloud also says, Drew Brees does it again. Can't give him that amount of time. I told you the first thing I did when they scored, it was like this. My head, I'm telling you, when Kenny Stills caught the touchdown, I literally went like this. Time, back up. Timeouts, back up. You just lost. Cool breeze time. You better listen to your corner. Watch for the hook. Cloud says that Texans pass rush was underwhelming. I already told you what's going to happen. I had people poo-poo me in the comment section of the trade for Jadeveon Clowney when I said, look, J.J. Watt is going to be shut down this year. He's going to get his 8 to 12 sacks somewhere in there. But that's a down year for him. He's a 16 to 20 sack guy. Watch those numbers plummet. And everyone was like, man, I agree with 99% of what you say, but you're wrong. Watt's still going to get his. And you're right. Some dumbass teams are going to allow him to get some. But the good teams like New Orleans, all right, like New England and all those types of teams, and I don't know the exact schedule for the Texans this year, but the good teams, the smart teams, are going to make sure that he's double teamed on every snap. I know if I'm playing Watt, he's the one guy that won't beat me. And then people were saying, well, Whitney Merciless is still there. When's the last time Whitney Merciless showed up? Last time I checked, that interception was the first time I heard his name called in like 2 years. Dude been on a milk carton since like 16. So don't talk to me about Whitney Merciless, all right? I know that Clowney was the only other guy that you had to worry about getting legitimate pressure in Houston, and you couldn't just always double up on Watt because Clowney could get you, and they would move him around. So if you tried to double team, they could put Clowney right next to Watt, and if you wanted to double team Watt, then you was going to single up Clowney, and somebody was going to make you pay. You can't do that anymore. Now I'm just worried about Watt. Somebody literally tried to tell me about DJ Reader. I'm like, did you just talk to me about a 340-pound nose tackle? I'm talking about dudes getting pressure. I ain't talking about dudes stopping a run. Like, that's going to significantly change the way the Texans play defense now. They effed up. That's how I feel. Anyway, Cloud says, would be great to have another elite pass rusher to help out Watt. Hey, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. JP says, games like this are why football is the best sport on planet Earth. Props to the schedule makers for giving us this one to kick off Monday Night Football. And to think, my girl was like, don't nobody want to see that. And I said, are you crazy? Everybody wants to see this. This is going to be a good game. And she's like, I'm going to bed. I said, well, bye. She missed one. JP says, what? No open phone lines tonight? You're killing me, Smalls. Nah, bro, it's 2 games. I can't open up phone lines. We got to go watch the other game, man. You tripping. And JP says, refs tried their hardest to screw the Saints again. No, they didn't. I mean, boy, nobody was happier than Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, the rookie out of Florida, when that kick went through the uprights. That man was over there reduced to tears on the sidelines thinking he had just blown it for his team. Man, he felt bad. I know nobody on that sidelines was happier when Will Lutz put that football through the uprights to give the Saints the win in this football game. Junior 13 says, poor Watson, though. Feel bad for him. Got lit up the whole game, went down, took his team in the end zone, gave him the lead, and it wasn't able to stick. I kind of feel bad for him too, but that's the name of the game. It's football. These things happen. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and go and get it again next week. And so we'll see if the Texans are able to do that. They dropped this game 30-28, fall to 0-1 on the season. Big win for the Saints. They take sole possession of first place in the NFC South. Let me stop with that, man. They 0-1 for everybody else. They're 1-0 after this exhilarating victory on Monday Night Football. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully we get an encore in Game 2 of Monday Night Football. We'll be back to break that game down at its conclusion. I'm your man, Louie T, signing off. Remember, if it's not your man T, it's not the best NFL coverage it could be. I will see you at the conclusion of Broncos at the Raiders for Monday Night Football Overtime, Part 2. Till then, I'm your man, Louie T. See you guys later. Enjoy the game. We'll come back here and converse after it is done.
Louie T Network.